Y'all, we need to talk about the problems with the bone broth and the collagen right now. Y'all trying to do a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet or friggin' any diet are stuck on certain trends like fasting and bone broth and collagen. Your basic bone broth, even if you make your bone broth or if you buy your collagen, it has a protein called hydroxyproline. Now, some people, not everyone, they really are great at making and metabolizing this hydroxyproline into oxalates. Why some people are more sensitive to kidney stones is probably due to the fact of hard living, like diabetes, insulin resistance, exposure to chemicals and toxins, and the body does not know how to excrete this buildup of oxalates. So oxalic acid is binding to calcium. Y'all are starting to form these shards of glass and needles in your eyes, in your breast tissue, in your vulva, in your muscle, in your joints, everywhere, especially your kidneys. But that's not all. We also have the problem with the oxalates in the bone and the marrow of some of these people who love their bone broth. People will take the bones from their butcher and they're like, oh my God, I'm getting these collagen benefits and skin and hair benefits. They take these bones and then they slow cook them for hours and hours and hours, 15 to 30 hours, and you're liberating the oxalates into the water. And then you get rid of the bones, and then you're drinking the oxalic acid or the oxalates, which end up binding to calcium in your body. And some people are perfect binding to calcium kidney stone makers. Now, this is not super common, but it's becoming more common because a lot of people treat their bodies like trash cans. And their body loses the ability to deal with certain things in Mother Nature, like phytic acid or oxalate buildups. You typically can dump them in the off season, but we don't give ourselves an off season. We are constantly consuming foods that build up in all types of ways. But it sounds confusing, but I have horses and I've been on several cattle ranches with my horses. You watch cows eat everything. With some pastured cows, they're eating a lot of rhubarb, they're eating a lot of sorrel and different species of clover, and this converts into oxalates in their body. If a cow is not moved around and is staying in one place where there are these high oxalate rich grasses or leaves, then they can actually develop a buildup in their own body and be toxic, not toxic, but go through pain themselves, and then that translates into the bone broth that we consume. Not every cow is high in oxalates, but there are a number that are. Yes, my people, our cows can develop oxalate buildup just like humans. It's because they're in one place and not being moved around. In the wild, they would hit more species of plants, but often if they're in an area where they're consuming the rhubarb and the sorrel, basically they're eating oxalate rich grasses and it binds to calcium within the blood. This creates the oxalate crystals and it deposits in their kidneys, in their bones, and even in the marrow. But that's not all, my beautiful people. You also have problem with glutamate, not only in the bone broth, but also in these collagen powders. Clearly, I'm not a fan of these collagen processed powders. Not only are you having problems with bleaching it, deodorizing it, it's the scraps from feedlots, and it's bleached. Well, there's more. We have the problems with oxalates because cows that are not moved around can eat plants high in oxalic acid like rhubarb. This is going to bind to calcium in the blood, and if they're eating too much of this plant, the oxalates end up also in their kidneys, their bones, the marrow, and their tendons. But there's more, like glutamate. Have you ever heard of MSG in Chinese food? When you take collagen powder and you take different parts of the animal and you break it down into a powder, things have become concentrated. Excess amounts of glutamate can have an overexcitation or overexcitatory response to your brain nerve cells. And this can damage the cells. It also can lead to issues with cognitive, memory, Parkinson's, and perhaps even the C word. The last thing that I want you all to be aware of is the quality control of the bone broth and especially the collagen powder. Ketogenic diets and carnivore diets have really popularized this whole bone broth fanaticism, crazy ridiculousness. Now it's gone fully mainstream because if people can make $1 off this stuff, then the quality control tanks. We have to worry about contaminants. These companies, I swear, we have to really do the deep dive on a bunch of products because we're finding heavy metals, cadmium, lead, arsenic, and we think we're being healthy, and people don't understand why they're not getting rid of their histamine on these products like bone broth and especially collagen. Why is collagen powder looking perfect? Because they bleach that shite with chemicals, or as the Swedish say, kemikalier, chemicals, and then they have to deodorize it so it doesn't smell like rotting Corpus Christi. And the boiling down process of bones gathered from all types of places that have bacteria growing on them, and often they come from feedlot places. It's not a good look. The big question is, should people be consuming bone broth and collagen powder for the benefits of skin, bone, nails, hair? Yes and no. I think that if you go to a local farm and get bones where you know what the cow is consuming and how the cow is treated, or if you're getting pastured chicken or pork and you're deciding to get the chicken feet for the collagen, you're deciding to get the pig feet for collagen or oxtail, then it's great. As long as you do not have a sensitivity to oxalate buildup or the inability to dump your oxalates, or you came from the vegan world and you're loaded in oxalates, then you might want to wait before making your own bone broth. And definitely the collagen powder for me is a hard pass because of the chemicals they have to use to bleach it and to deodorize it. That's a hard pass. Is collagen powder good for the skin, the teeth, the hair, the nails? It is. But only if it's quality controlled. If you guys want to book a consultation, you can go to stephanieperson.com. You can also sign up for my course, which is a monthly subscription where I cover all 3 diets, also at stephanieperson.com. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic, and my Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. Sign-ups for the challenge will be in September. All of this stuff that I've been talking about for freaking years and years and years will be on that challenge. And I'm out.